Okay, that works. Hi friends, my name is Lilstarnerd. Welcome to another video in my 12 Days of Christmas series. Happy holidays. Whatever it is you celebrate nothing at all. I hope you're having a great time and enjoying this wonderful time of year. We just did my last sketchbook spread, my sketchbook tour. We had a vlog in between. That means it's time to start my new sketchbook. Shocker to no one, I'm using the same sketchbook, Strathmore Mixed Media Series 500, soft cover. I, for some reason, debated getting a hardcover. I don't know why, I guess I was just like going through a moment, but I didn't. I just kind of feel like switching it up. So I might do a different sketchbook next time, we'll see. But you all know, she's my fave, nothing tops her. I love her so much. Oh, before I go any further, let me thank my patrons. Your names are on screen. Thank you so much for your support. I don't have a sponsor today, so let me talk about my Patreon. If you haven't checked it out yet, you really should. Every month we do really fun exclusive stuff over there, including a podcast. There is a postcard and a sticker that goes out every month, which I love. I don't have the stuff for December yet, but I do have November stuff that I'll show you just as like an example. Here's the postcard and here is the sticker. Every month I do something different. Also, you can do a lower tier for just the sticker if you don't want the postcard or you want something a little bit more budget friendly. Every month there's also an exclusive video, and if you really want to go top tier, I do originals every month as well. There's also a little chat room where we all hang and talk. I do early access art updates every week-ish. So there's just a bunch of stuff going on over there. It's really, really fun, and it's been a much bigger priority for me this year. Like, I've really kind of figured out how I want to use Patreon, so it's been a lot of fun. If you want a way to support me a little bit further, that's a great way to do it. You get goodies out of it. You know, everybody wins. Anyways, go check that out. Thank you for your time and consideration. I know what I want to do in this sketchbook. Spoiler alert, I've already done it. This is after I painted, but you know, whatever. I know what I want to do. I'm really excited about it, as if I haven't already done it. So without further ado, let's just get right into the painting. And we'll talk about my hopes and dreams for my expectations for this sketchbook, because it's a whole new, fresh one. You know, there's been some changes from the way that I'm keeping my last sketchbook. If you haven't watched that video, you'll find out in this one. But there is some stuff to talk about, so let's go. We're gonna start with the discussion of, you know, like the meaning of this first page, my hopes for the sketchbook, all that stuff. I was gonna start with, you know, talking about the piece itself and the process, but I realized, you know, I'd be talking about the finishing details of the painting while you would still be in the middle of the video. And that wouldn't really make sense chronologically, you know, like major spoilers, right? So we're going to start with the whole sketchbook discussion, right? First of all, this piece really has, frankly, no symbolism or meaning for this sketchbook. I definitely think it's fun when my first and last pages have some sort of meaning or tie into the sketchbook or life in some way. Like, I really do like that. I think it's fun. It's cute, and I often find it really motivating, and I like talking about it. But also, if that kind of idea doesn't come to me naturally, I'm not gonna force it, obviously. I'm a bit blocked up right now, and ideas just are not coming to me as easily as I would like. And it's a busy time of year. I'm really not trying to sit here and come up with some beautiful masterpiece that's symbolic of anything, you know? But I will say retroactively, looking at it, I do think I can pretend that it's symbolic of or meaningful to how I would like to approach the pages in this sketchbook. You know, it's experimental, hopeful, analytical, in process. I want to let go of perfection, but keep looking for ways to get and do better and just have fun. That's what I think this page was, you know, a summary of this page. And let's talk about that, about how I want to keep this sketchbook. If you saw the video of the last spread of my previous sketchbook, you'll know that I am no longer doing 3-month books, at least for now. There's no saying that I won't ever go back to them. They're just a little too demanding of me with my now much busier and demanding schedule. There's a lot of art that I have to do on a pretty regular basis, and I often don't have it in me to fill so many pages every month in a way that feels worthwhile or enjoyable. In the last few sketchbooks, there are way too many pages that are empty or have been filled just for the sake of being filled. Do you know what I mean? And a few of those in every sketchbook are fine. I think that's totally normal. You know, you need some throwaway, it's a sketchbook. You need some throwaway pages, some place to just get thoughts out. But the ratio has just been way off lately. But moving forward, things aren't going to be too different. For this sketchbook, I'm going to try to fill it within 4 months instead of 3. That's only about 15 pages per month, which definitely seems doable in theory. If it doesn't work, of course, that's totally fine, and I will reevaluate again for the next sketchbook. No biggie, I'm fine with that. But I think it should work really well. I have no reason to think that I can't do 15 pages. But I definitely want to keep some sort of timeline, at least. I found that worked really well for me back when the 3 months was optimal, you know what I mean? Without that time frame, before I implemented that, it took me forever to make it through a sketchbook, like 7 months for the same size sketchbook. I just never really picked it up. I would get sick of my sketchbooks because it felt like the pages were never ending. I like that having the deadline encouraged frequent sketchbooking, which of course meant that I was just drawing more often and getting that much more practice in. It has led to so much experimentation and play and the broadening of my horizons. It also means that I never get sick of my sketchbooks anymore. They're always fun. They always still feel new. I'm never in them for so long that I'm sick of it, which is definitely just a major change from how they used to feel. So I definitely want that deadline as a way of keeping me encouraged and motivated to keep picking up my sketchbook and using it frequently. But now, instead of picking it up to scribble in a full page, I'll hopefully be able to spend more time and effort on the drawings in there once again, like I used to back when I did spend 7 months. My hopes overall for the sketchbook is to continue growing my habit of reaching for my sketchbook, to reach for it more often. I definitely got better about that in my last sketchbook, which was awesome, but I did have the issue of just never having ideas. Hopefully, because I will have less of time pressure to fill this one, I'll have more time to kind of come up with stuff and ruminate on it longer, take longer to come up with ideas if I need to. So I do hope I keep working on that. I keep using my sketchbook as a go-to. When I feel the impulse, I pick it up. I use it more often. I also really hope that I am a lot more expressive and put a lot more effort in my sketchbook. I think I've gotten really good at experimenting and being creative and having lots of different stuff in one sketchbook. I do lots of different mediums, subjects, etc., but I have missed some of the things that I used to do all the time in my older sketchbooks. Original characters, stylized stuff, portraits, things that are a lot more high effort and high detail. I haven't said this in a while. I went through a phase of saying it all the time, and then I kind of broke free from that and was like, hey, that's not real or necessary, but I'm saying it again. I would really like to kind of draw from some of my old sketchbooks as inspiration for this one. Overall, while my primary goal is to just feel genuinely comfortable with my sketchbook again, that is definitely the priority here after so much struggle, but I definitely do have a secondary goal of wanting to feel proud of this sketchbook again. I've definitely become a lot more lax with myself on what I consider a good sketchbook, and I think that's great. I think that's healthy and wonderful. I have no issue with that, and I don't want to take steps backward. So many of my sketchbooks, I flip through it, and there's nothing that I would want to make a printout of, nothing that I love that much. I would love to have a book that I feel like every few pages I'm seeing something amazing to me, you know what I mean? I feel like it's kind of needed for my confidence and my art practice right now, so we'll see. I have high hopes overall for this sketchbook. I think the 4 months is going to make a huge difference. I think I'm really excited to move into the new year. That always kind of brings fresh vibes. I've been on a bit of a down, which means an up is coming. So I'm really hopeful, but I absolutely plan on being gentle with myself. If I get halfway through the sketchbook and it looks exactly like this previous one did, I'm not going to be mad. I'm kind of seeing this sketchbook as a little bit of a healing period, transitionary period. I'm still very, very busy right now, and that's okay. I will be for a while. My job looks different than it did in the beginning, right? Things have changed. That's okay, I understand that. I just need my sketchbook to change with me, which I haven't done that this whole time. And so this sketchbook is kind of figuring out what is going to fit my needs, what is going to be fun for me again. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm hopeful, but I will definitely be kind to myself and not expect crazy things from myself that I can't deliver. So that's kind of the whole discussion on the sketchbook. I'm feeling good. And kind of what I was talking about before, the meaningfulness of the first page. I think this first page retroactively I can put meaning on this page that it kind of represents what I was talking about. It's still experimental, it's still fun, but it's using one of my favorite mediums. It was something that took a lot of kind of brain power, it has a lot of effort, but I wasn't worried about making it look super realistic. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it does have a bit of meaning. It is a bit symbolic of my hopes for this sketchbook. I want to let loose of some of the things that I'm holding on to, and I want to hold on to some of the things that I've let go. I just want to see what fits now because, like I said, things have changed a lot. I miss some of the things that I used to draw a lot and don't really anymore, but I still want to hold on to the experimentation. So we'll see. We'll see what comes of this, what happens with the 4 months. I think it's going to be good. I feel really good about it. It's really just a matter of if I can properly heal from my burnout and allow that inspiration to come back naturally, because it's not something that I feel I can force. So I think that's really the main thing. And that's why the 4 months is going to be really important, or longer if I have to do it longer. I think it's going to be really, really important to let myself have the time that I need to properly fill this sketchbook or the next sketchbook or however it happens. Because I think the main problem here is that the lack of inspiration that I'm feeling because of burnout. And healing that's going to be the biggest priority and the biggest way we'll see any change in my sketchbook, if that makes sense. Anyways, now let's talk about the first page, the process, my decisions, etc. This is actually an idea that I've had floating around in my head for a while. I've been pretty into tigers lately for a while, but I don't want to just draw a basic tiger over and over and over. So I've been trying to think of ways to kind of switch it up. But, because to draw them, I'm really reliant on references. I don't know what a tiger looks like in my head, just from my head. So it can be hard to shake things up when I need an exact reference, if that makes sense. So anyways, I forgot exactly how or when this came to my head, but I love the idea of a tiger swimming or wading through like this beautiful crystal blue water, and we see it from above, basically. And of course, this is not a new idea by any stretch of the imagination. I am sure that there are other pieces just like this out there that I'm accidentally ripping off, but for my standards, it's still a bit of an original thought in the sense that I didn't just see a photo and copy what I saw. You know what I'm saying? It is a concept that I came up with on my own. Not literally as in I came up with it first, but as in I didn't see a photo and was like, oh, I should just redraw that. But yeah, I can't remember how this idea came to me. I'm sure it's very heavily influenced by the many gorgeous, stunning photos of boats and fish and stuff like that in clear water shot from above. Like the scene in Pano, that I love that scene. Those kinds of photos. I love those photos and art pieces similar to that. I'm sure you're going to find a good selection of them in my Pinterest folder to prove that. So definitely not something I came up with all on my own. Definitely influenced by those images that I've seen. But anyways, it has been something that's been kicking around in my brain, and I saw an opportunity to make it happen, to draw it. It took quite a bit of work to collect the references that I needed to make it happen, because finding the specific pose and angle that I wanted was a bit difficult. I really didn't want to copy anything, any tigers directly, but unfortunately I did kind of end up doing that. I found a picture of a tiger from above that was just perfect for what I was picturing, like the piece that I wanted to make. And while I didn't line for line copy it, tiger anatomy just isn't something I feel confident in winging, you know what I mean? So it's pretty close. But I did collect some other tiger photos to reference stripes and coloring, photos of the water that I wanted, some fish. I did the sketch and it was whack as hell. It looked so funky. The tiger specifically just looked so crazy, but it looked how I thought the reference looked. I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of hoped that when it had color and the stripes kind of implied a lot more shape and anatomy, it might look better. So I just kind of let it go. Didn't agonize over the sketch too much. When it came to picking medium, I actually did take a few minutes. I wasn't sure right away. My first instinct was my Arteza tube gouache. I've really been enjoying using it lately. I love it for sketchbooking, and I love that it has so many different pre-mixed colors. So I kind of automatically reached for those, but then I thought, it's the first page, it's a piece I'm really excited about. Maybe I should use some supplies that are a bit higher quality and easier to work with. Plus, I don't want to get stuck in the habit of picking the same medium over and over and over again because I have used these tubes pretty frequently. I waffled between a few different other supplies, like I knew I didn't want markers, I didn't want to use acrylic wash again when I had just used them. Nothing really was what I wanted until I circled back to, I definitely want to use gouache for this. So I ended up using my Holbein Artist Gouache, which is obviously not the Arteza. It's just much higher quality. Generally, I try to save my higher quality supplies for real pieces and commissions, not basic sketchbook work. But also, at the same time, that's a mentality that I really have been trying to beat throughout the past year or so. Like, I spend money on these supplies, and then sometimes I'm so afraid to use them that they dry up before I ever really get a chance to try them or use them more than once, So I try to be less precious with some of my materials now. Doesn't always work, doesn't always happen, but I try. I recently cleaned up my art supplies, and my old set of Holbein Artist Gouache, all the tubes were dried up. They still had plenty of paint in them. Half of them were dried up and I had to throw them away. So this stretches. I feel like I should let myself use it when I want to. Anyways, I wanted this tiger to be a bit similar to the process of my pink and blue tiger prints in my shop that I had done a while ago. Those were with acrylic markers and colored pencils. I really like the idea of lots of different colors, the gradients that were in that, and kind of chipping away between the stripes, kind of working in a negative way, So I tried my best to emulate that, but it really just didn't transfer between mediums. I tried to introduce lots of different colors, just make it more than just an orange and black tiger. I do think I used black for the stripes, and I do wish I had used blue. That's generally what I like to do anyways, is use blue for stripes. I'm a little bummed that I didn't think to do that, but I guess I wanted the contrast. But because it was the top of the tiger, and we didn't see a lot of it, that's not where there's lots of gradients and color and detail going on, it was a bit harder to make it look super interesting. There wasn't much shadow. It's just orange. There's not really patches of color. I also didn't want too much stuff going on. I tried to introduce some purple into the tiger, but that felt a little too much, and it was kind of messing up the tiger's relationship to kind of the rest of the piece. So then I started on the water, and that was really fun. I really enjoyed doing that. I just jumped right in, and at first I really didn't have a strategy. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was originally just planning on making a nice color and painting it all one color. But I quickly realized that I did not mix nearly enough paint, and then I was like, oh, that's perfect actually, because then I can have lots of color variation to mimic water, and I thought that would be really pretty and cute, and I was right. I love the colors that ended up coming out of it. I think they're so gorgeous and yummy and just exactly what I wanted when I was originally picturing this piece in my head. When it came to the fish, I really wanted them to be a part of the piece. I knew I wanted fish because otherwise it was just gonna be really boring. I needed some other element than just the tiger in the water. But I realized while I was painting the water that the way I had the fish in the sketch really didn't make sense, at all. How come we can perfectly see the fish underwater and there's no distortion from the waves above them that the tiger is creating? And how come we can see the fish at all when we can't see the parts of the tiger that are underwater? So I kind of had to make some adjustments and also just kind of ignore some of the realism that is lacking here, which is kind of where I let go of some perfectionism. The fish became very vague fish shapes instead of meticulously detailed fish. I also realized I would need to add some sort of implication of the tiger beneath the water and hope that it made some sense. Once the fish were in, it was time to kind of make the water look believable, more interesting than just a color. I started going ham with little water tension lines and implication of movement. I wanted it to be a clear path of movement around and coming from the tiger. I wanted it to be clear that the tiger is the focal point, is moving, so I wanted it to kind of radiate from him. I just kept going, trying to create more and more and more contrast as it was feeling really flat and definitely there was something missing. The final touch, of course, were the highlights. I had so much fun adding more and more to the water. I probably went a bit overboard, but I think that they really added a lot and it never really felt like too much, In fact, I honestly think that I could go back in with more white shimmer dots and I would still love it. I think I could add a lot more there. I still need to put stickers on the sketchbook. Usually lately I've been waiting like a week or two after I start it. I don't know why. But anyways, here's the page. So I do have thoughts on this. I hate it in the viewfinder. I like it in person. I just like it though. I sent it to my sister and I was like, is something missing from this? And she was like, yeah, but I don't know what, but like something's missing. And I agree. I feel like the color palette is a little weird. The purple really throws it off, but I don't know what I would have done. Like maybe a dark blue. Like I don't know what could have been used instead of maybe yellow. I don't know. But I don't like the purple. The purple really throws it off. It was supposed to tie in because there is a little bit of purple on the tiger. You can't see it. And there definitely feels like I loved seeing so much of the variation in the bluey greens, but it does feel a little flat and like it's missing kind of a focal point and a lot of contrast and depth. So I don't know. I like it. And this is what I wanted. This is the concept that I had in mind. I think I delivered on that really well. But I would really love to revisit this later. Hold on. That'd be fun. Maybe that could be like the last spread. I'm not promising anything to myself. I might want to change my mind. But that could be a really fun last spread, is to workshop this idea a little bit. See if I can get it to where I really want it to be. That's a thought. Just a thought though. Anyways, yeah, good start to the sketchbook. I'm feeling really excited. Obviously, I'm giving myself a little bit more time, which I think will be really great. I'm excited to see how that goes for me. I'm really hoping that I can get back, because I've really redeveloped the itch, the desire for keeping a sketchbook. I think it's just a matter of finding that source of inspiration again. And you know, that can be really, really hard. So I'm excited to see what happens in the sketchbook. I'm really hopeful, and I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself because that never ends well. But yeah, what a wonderful time. Thank you so much for joining me as we start this new chapter, as well as holiday season. I don't know where I started this sentence. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, the whole shebang. You know what to do. Make sure you subscribe so you stay tuned for all of the holiday videos upcoming. There's gonna be plenty of them. That's it from me. Go water your plants, send a thoughtful text, and go do some art. Bye. Have a nice, lovely day.